Combining your experience as an Australian Army brat, a star athlete, and an international fashion model, one could easily say that Nikita is the role that Peta Wilson was born to play. The show is so popular that it's developed a cult-like following among its fans here and in the U.S. Joining us in studio, Peta Wilson. Welcome.
Hi, Jane. Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here.
Hi, Canada.
Now, you were looking at that clip, and you said, oh, didn't like that.
It was a very difficult show, that one, a very difficult episode, because Nikita's protecting a serial killer because we need him for certain information. And just as far as the character goes, that's just not something she wanted to do. So
right.
As the actress playing the role, it was very taxing emotionally to go to those kinds of places, you know, in order to make it realistic. So.
But what did you see in that scene that you didn't like?
No, I liked the scene.
Okay.
I was talking more about the episode.
Actual episode, yeah. And how difficult that was.
It was difficult. Sometimes it's difficult for me to be, to stand back and look at the work on the whole. I like watching the entire shows, but as far as watching my own work, sometimes I'm not really sure.
That's why I do live. Now, are you as tough as the character you play?
No, I'm not tough at all. No, I'm a little
Come on,
no, I'm a bit of a boy. I'm a little bit of a boy. I like that. I like to get sort of worked up. I kind of like it when I'm, especially in this role, I tend to be a little bit of a boy most of the day to keep me open, keep me spontaneous. As you know, in television, you're working very quickly, so it's important to stay open, and the character is very masculine, feminine. So I tend, because I'm already a girl, I tend to be quite tomboyish and a little tough, and I rough the crew up a little. I give them a bit of a hard time. And
so what does that mean when you're being a bit of a boy?
I push them around a little. And
cartwheels or kicking?
I know I do handstands on set, depending on the outfit I'm wearing, of course. I'm always wearing a skirt when I do a handstand. No.
Of course.
But I'll warm up, I'll kickbox, I'll work out during the lunchtime. I work out with a trainer called Al Green, a Canadian man, and usually I'm feeling a little feisty after lunch, so I come back and, you know, give the boys a little bit of a rough and tumble. It helps me stay in character.
But that is also your character.
Myself?
I mean, very much, yeah, growing up. I mean, the story is that your mother made you go, have nice lessons because she thought you were becoming too much of a boy because you were so athletic. And
well, I was at Catholic girls' schools, and I was very much a tomboy, very much into athletics, and boys, I didn't really like them. I liked to ride skateboards with them, but I wasn't really much of a sort of into boys. So Mum sort of thought, well, you know, I have high hopes for my daughter rather than being in the army, which was sort of where I was going. I was going to be an athlete in the army. And so Mum had me do grooming and deportment classes. And
Australian.
I know.
Sorry.
Very grooming deportment.
Very Australian.
You know, I was modelling on catwalks in supermarkets in Australia, and my first modelling job on a catwalk in like a Saturday morning job, I was feeling pretty fabulous walking out there in a bathing suit, and I got so excited and so overwhelmed by the audience that I walked straight off the end of the catwalk into like the display swimming pool. But I got back on the catwalk, saturated, and kept going. And
hey, at least you were in a bathing suit, so that works.
Mum said it was like overnight a turn from very much a boy to very much a girl.
Right.
So.
Now, did you want that though? Did you want the modeling stuff that you turned to?
I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of went with the flow. I don't know. When you're young, you don't really... I didn't really... I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I just kind of went with what was going on. And my mother certainly enjoyed seeing me pretty, and I quite enjoyed it. It was great when I was in that period of time when girls are uncomfortable. It gave me a certain amount of confidence and made me understand, well, you know, you make the best of what you've got, and sooner or later, with self-confidence, you can certainly make things that you really hated about yourself disappear or good things to come. Does that make sense?
But how did the modeling happen? Did someone come after you, or was it Mom who said, you know, everybody's saying how beautiful you are and how tall and all of that?
No, I got scouted. You know, I was in a local town, and I did a couple of television commercials, and a big agent saw me, and that was kind of it. And I modeled for like 5 or 6 years. It was really wonderful. It was difficult business. Very glamorous, supposedly, but not so, and like any business, really. And I travelled all around the world, but I wasn't the kind of model that went and did all the different markets. I made a lot of money in Italy, and then I stayed and travelled. Right. Went to Paris, made money and travelled. Went to London, made money and got out of there. You know, so I just sort of used it as a passport to see the rest of the world, and I learnt a lot. I met a lot of rock stars, and you know, it was very glamorous for a small-town girl in Australia, and came home. Look at this outfit, Mum. Look what I got here, and it was really great fun. I really look back at it.